Slocky, I'm right. I'm lighting up some incense right quick before I get started. All right. Hey, so shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and other bishops of Great Millstone who were very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing this gospel in truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh Bashim Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect scattered abroad. May the election Yahweh Bashim Shai, Lord willing, upon all your houses. Amen. So this video is ultimately, I've been, while I was at work today, man, I was, listening to, a lot of videos. And just checking some stuff out, man. And there's a lot going on, man. There's a lot of stuff, as far as across the globe, that's going on, man. Really is, and all these things are fulfilling prophecy, and that's what we're going to go into, man. Prophecy is ultimately being fulfilled. A prophecy is hitting harder, man, as you see the title, man. Because again, you got a lot of things popping off left and right. So what we're going to start is we're going to start in the Matthew 24th chapter, get into 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter, and so on and so forth. I got a couple videos, a couple articles. However the spirit is going to roll, man. We're just going to roll with the punches, man. That's basically how we're going to go right now. So I'm going to read Matthew, the 24th chapter. I'm going to start at verse 3. It says, Matthew 24:3, it says, as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming in the end of the world? Right, man? Because ultimately, these signs that we're seeing right now, they depict that we are in the last days, man, which is ultimately the end of Esau Edom's ruling, as it says in 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter, the 9th verse. It says the end. Esau is the end of the world, right? It says, and what shall be the sign of that coming in the end of the world? So Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it, right? So when we see these signs, we ultimately know, that we're at the end of Esau's rulership, which means what, man? More importantly, we're at the end of our captivity, man. Which is, it builds our faith, man. It makes us rejoice, it makes us happy to know that we're at the very end, So I'll keep reading. It says, verse 4, it says, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. It says, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. Right, man. And guess what, man? We're seeing a lot of that starting to take place, man. You got one body in wrongfully called one body in Yahushua. We're truly called one body in Satan, You got them coming in the name of Yahushua, coming in his name, saying that, that they basically got the truth and so on and so forth, man. That's not true. They don't have the truth. It's like they're ultimately bugged out, man. You look at, and there might be, some people that are following, that camp that may be part of the elect, and unless those people, come out of that camp and repent, for following that camp. And guess what, man? That whole camp is done for, man. Just like Sakari, man. You got Deacon Alizé, or not Deacon Alizé. You got Alizé, the head of that whole head of Sakari, talking about how he's the high priest, man. When Yahushua is our high priest, man. He is the high priest of the order of Melchizedek, man. So for him to say that, that elder apostle Tahar, who's been doing this for 36 years, because he's over the age of 50, he's not supposed to be, out here pushing this gospel anymore, but he's supposed to minister unto those that are, within the church, and that he would be the next high priest, that he is the high priest of Israel, it's kind of, people see that, man. People, Jake likes flashy things, and, Jake likes, power and so on and so forth. So when they hear that, what are they going to do? They're going to follow after that group, and they're going to follow after Alizé. When Alizé, he's he's been in for over 10 years, so on and so forth. But he's, as if he's a novice, man. You look at the things that he say and stuff like that, man, and he's just a novice, man. As the elder apostle Gabar had gone into, those that are 6 months in the truth, which elder Manat Zakbar has said, of GMS South Carolina said, GMS South Carolina camp, Salakia, man, long day at work. But anyways, he said, what? Those that have been 6 months in this truth, no more than, any that follow after GMS, those that have been in this truth for 6 months that follow after GMS, no more than any of these other camps, man, and as well as these Christians and so on and so forth, man, But again, you got those people out here, man, fulfilling the verse 5. It says, "For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many." And again, the doctrine that they're pushing is not the correct doctrine, man. But they truly believe that they're pushing that correct doctrine, when in reality, hey, they're deceived themselves, man. The Lord Yahweh Shemel Shah said, what, man? He said, matter of fact, let me grab that scripture. It's like, you bear with me, Baruch Shah. He said the deceived and the deceiver, the deceived and the deceiver are his. The deceived and the deceiver are his. Let me get that. So I'm pulling up. I might not typed it right. This right here. It's Job 12 and 16. It tells you, with him is strength and wisdom, and the deceived and the deceiver are his. And so the Most High ultimately gave them over to this, this bugged out doctrine. But guess what they're doing, man? They're ultimately spreading that deception upon the rest of the people, man. Slakia. Which ultimately they're gonna have to receive a recompense for doing that, man. So let's go back to Matthew's 24 and verse 6. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." Right now, I got an article, that goes into Slakia, just to make sure. There, I got an article from RT that goes into, this wars and rumors of wars, right? So it says U.S. rehearsed dropping nuclear weapons 20 kilometers from Russia's border, right? Or why would you do that, man? America and Russia are on two different hemispheres of the planet. So why, and yes, you do got Alaska that, it's close to the Russia border, but why would you go and do these nuclear testing, 20 kilometers from the Russia border, man, which is, what is that, 44 miles or some shit like that, man? What is the point of doing that? And that's ultimately, for America, because, America's economy, America's power is ultimately, the further, the more days that pass, the more or the less power that America has, and the more power that these other nations have. So America has to ultimately make up for that by going and doing these type of testing and military drills and so on and so forth, near these other nations to, to ultimately say, hey, I'm still powerful. I'm still in charge. When in reality, America's power is dwindling, man. America's throne is basically at its end. That's why it tells you, matter of fact, let me grab the scriptures. It's Isaiah, the 47th chapter. It's like Isaiah, the 47th chapter, and it's like it's actually verse 1, It says, "Come and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." It's like a virgin daughter of Babylon. "Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt be no more called tender and delicate." Right, man? So ultimately, America's rulership is coming to a fucking end, man. And these nations understand that, That's why, it tells you in Isaiah, I think it was the 13th chapter, where these nations ultimately saying to Babylon, "Art thou become as weak as we?" Because America's system, basically America's crumbling from the inside out, going into, it's like that one, going into, its economy. America's economy is going to shit. They got the American dollar, inflation happening, severely, And then on top of that, America's power period, started with that whole fucking Taliban shit, where Biden, the Biden administration wanted to pull out, in a rush kind of fashion, pull out all the military from I think it was Afghanistan. They pulled out from Afghanistan, and what happened? The Taliban ultimately took over like that, man. And then America in their rush, their rushed kind of leaving style, man. What they do? They left a whole bunch of weapons there, man. They left a whole bunch of tanks and armored vehicles and guns and just military clothing and so on and so forth, man. They left all that gear there, man. For the Taliban to ultimately take and to arm up themselves, man. So now they're stronger. So hey, America's fucking stupid. But again, going into this article, I'm not gonna go into it too much. I'm just gonna touch on these articles, man, that I got. Watched a couple videos. Videos each are like 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes, and then yeah, man, obviously hit the precepts on the way, and then we'll get out of here. But this says right here, it says American nuclear capable bombers have flown dozens of sorties across American Europe, Eastern Europe, in the past few weeks as part of drills designed to probe Russian readiness in case of an atomic war. Russia's defense minister has claimed, right, man, and you can go ahead and read the rest of it. It's ultimately going into how America's ultimately been testing, and just pushing the limits, man, going too far, but again, this is that war and rumors of war. This is a rumors of war. Now you go into other stuff. Hey, America bombed Syria not too long ago. You still got, what is that between, I think it was Lebanon. Nevertheless, man, if you look up the war, you type in Google, war is happening, or war is happening in the Middle East, you'll see what's going on, man, because there is war happening within the Middle East, man, between, multiple different kinds of countries, man, like Israel and Gaza, they're going at it again, shooting rockets at each other and so on and so forth, man. You got a lot of shit happening right now, man, and not only, and really the reason why US and Russia are starting to have Slovakia. Hold on, man. Slovakia, man. I don't know what's in the air, man, but still, man, you got the reason why all this stuff is happening between Russia and America is because of the Ukraine, man. Russia wants to ultimately go in and do what they want to do, with Ukraine, but America is ultimately trying to, stop that, man. And that's also another reason why, America and China are going at it, man, because Taiwan is claimed by China, but America, which Creepy Joe not too long ago had said that he's not, they're not for the independence of Taiwan, but their ultimate thing is to help Taiwan become its own country, man, to get away and to separate itself from China. And I don't know whether America wants to take it unto themselves or whatever the reason is, man. They leave a lot out in their articles and stuff like that, man. You can only speculate to a certain point, but these are these rumors of war that are happening across the world, man. You got America and North Korea, America, Iran, and so on and so forth, man. And now, it hasn't gotten to the point of where they want to get into a war, but you got America and France. America's longest ally. There's tension in that area, man. You're having a lot of this shit is starting to pop off, man. Which is again prophecy in Revelations. I think it's the 17th chapter and the 16th verse. Where it tells you what, and the 10 horns shall hate the whore, man. Meaning what, man? The NATO and the EU, man. All the allies of America are going to hate Babylon, man. Why? Because America is doing some shady ass shit, man. Eventually, it's going to lead to that world war, man. So let's go back. Let's go back to Matthew's 24th chapter. And let's read verse 6 again. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, which we hear that, man. We already went and touched on a couple of things that we, that we hear and we see. It says, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet, right? All these things have to come to pass, right? We got Jacob's trouble. You got the World War III, and then soon, Lord willing, we can be part of that number. We got the deliverance, man, and the destruction of America, right? But till then, verse 7, it says, for nation shall rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, for there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right, man. Again, nation against nation, those wars and rumors of wars, and kingdom against kingdom, and even deeper than that, you got Jake, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans waking up, to the wickedness of this damn devil, man. You got a lot of so-called black folks and so-called Hispanics, waking up to, the white man is truly the devil, man. As it says in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, that the man of sin, the son of perdition, will be revealed, right? And the more, again, it's like, hold on. The more that we come to and go through time, the more days that pass, and more information about the so-called white man and his wickedness, and you just had the Kyle Rittenhouse trial and so on and so forth, and he got away with it, man. He got away with murder, man. But how many so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, did some shit like that to protect their families or whatever it may be, ultimately got 10, 20, 30 years life in prison. It's like, I'm just like my instance. I don't know why it's going out, but they got 10, 20, 30 years in prison just for defending themselves or their family members and so on and so forth, where Kyle Rittenhouse said he was defending a whole business that said that they didn't even ask anybody to defend that place, man. The business came out and said and contradicted or went against what Kyle Rittenhouse said that he was there to do, but he still got away with it, man, So yes, you're getting a lot of this information ultimately coming up, man, and Jake is not okay with that, man. So again, you got nation rising up against nation, Esau versus Jacob, man. We're seeing that happen a lot more, man. But I'll keep reading. It says, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, right, man? And I got a video I want to play that ultimately goes into that, man. Those famines, and that are happening. And this is the brother Gabar Adama 144, beautiful brother, man. Subscribe to both his channels, Gabar Adama, and then Gabar Adama 144, man. But this is the and you see by the title, man, it says harsh reality forced to sell your daughters, because again, you got not just here in America, not just in China, but all over the world. You got the supply chain, ultimately, at a halt, man. You got people not able to, eat, and basically take care of their family. So what do they got to do? They got to resort to drastic measures. So without further ado, I'm just gonna play the video, and y'all will hear, basically what we're going into.
Out of Afghanistan, showing the harsh reality of the humanitarian crisis engulfing the country, especially post-Taliban rule. Desperate families so impoverished, they tell CNN they have no choice but to sell their young daughters into some twisted form of marriage. In this exclusive report, CNN witnesses the tragic fate facing these helpless.
And it says impoverished, man. A lot of the reason why these people are impoverished is because inflation is happening, as well as jobs are being lost, as well as this, all being mixed with that supply chain, ultimately at a halt, so people aren't able to, keep a job, because there's no product coming in, so the job don't have any, anything to sell, so they lose their job, means that they can't buy anything, means they can't pay rent, so on and so forth. It all trickles down, man.
Those little girls. In this culture where girls and women are too often treated horrifically, the parents gave us full access and permission to talk to the children and show their faces because they say they cannot change the practice themselves. CNN's Anna Corin reports.
In this arid, desolate landscape, not a scrap of vegetation in sight. lies a makeshift camp for some of Afghanistan's internally displaced. Among its residents, 9-year-old Parwana. Her bright pink dress squeals of laughter and childhood games, a ruse to the horrors unfolding in this unhospitable environment. Parwana's family moved to this camp in Baghdis province 4 years ago after her father lost his job. Humanitarian aid and menial work, earning $3 a day, providing the basic staples to survive. But since the Taliban takeover 2.5 months ago, any money or assistance has dried up. And with 8 mouths to feed, Parwana's father is now doing the unthinkable. I have no work, no money, no food. I have to sell my daughter, he says. I have no other choice. Parwana, who dreams of going to school and becoming a teacher, applies makeup. A favorite pastime for little girls, but Parwana knows she is preparing for what awaits her. My father has sold me because we don't have bread, rice and flour. He has sold me to an old man. The white-bearded man, who claims he's 55 years old, comes to collect her. He's bought Parwana for 200,000 Afghanis, just over $2,000 US. Covered up, Parwana whimpers as mother holds her. This is your bride. Please take care of her, says Parwana's father. Of course I will take care of her, replies the man. His large hands grab her small frame. Parwana tries to pull away. As he carries her only bag of belongings, she again resists, digging her heels into the dirt. But it's futile. The fate of this small, helpless child has been sealed. Child.
And that's crazy, man. You know, when you look at these things and you see this, you know, and really, you know, brother's been, you know, doing videos about women and stuff like that. And this right here, you know, should scare a lot of you women, man. You know, because even though it's talking about you know, children, hey, what's gonna happen to you women, man? You know, that have more features, that are able to, you know, do more and so on and so forth, man. These are little girls, man. They don't know nothing about, you know, nothing, you know, sexual or anything like that, man. You know, hey, what's gonna happen when, you know, you being a woman and times come, you know, to where, hey, the person sitting next to you that you've known for, you know, your whole life, who's married to you and so on and so forth, hey, and you got kids, hey, what happens, you know, what's going to happen when that person you've been married to or you've been best friends with or so on and so forth, hey, they look at you and be like, hey, you got to go. You know, they're going to sell you to feed the kids, man. You know, what are you going to do in them days, man? You know, you got to think about this stuff, man, because this very well could happen. You know, actually, matter of fact, you know, I highly believe it will happen, you know, coming into Jacob's trouble and so on and so forth, man. All these things are going to happen, man. You know, hey, this hasn't even hit America, you know, and you know, these fucking Americans, man, they like their luxuries, man. You know, they like having all their stuff. So how much more and how quick is an American gonna sell out, you know, his wife or, you know, his child and so on and so forth, you know, to continue to try and live that lifestyle, man, you know?
Child marriage is nothing new in poor rural parts of Afghanistan. But human rights activists are reporting an increase in cases because of the economic and humanitarian crisis engulfing the country.
These are devastating decisions that no parent should ever have to make, and it really speaks to what an extraordinary breakdown is happening in Afghanistan right now.
For months, the UN has been warning of a catastrophe as Afghanistan, a war-ravaged, aid-dependent country, descends into a brutal winter. Billions of dollars in central bank assets were frozen after the Taliban swept to power in August. Banks are running out of money. Wages haven't been paid for months.
It says banks are running out of money. Now, who's the ones that control the banks, man? It'd be our lead banker family, man. You know, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, and so on and so forth, man. You know, And those are the only ones that I truly know, but there's a lot more, man. How much they're the ones that control the banks, man. And they have a thing called order ab chaos, man, order out of chaos. And this is what they're trying to do. They're causing this disorder. They're causing this chaos so that way they can come in and establish their new world order, man. Order out of chaos, like an order out of chaos, man. Really new world order out of chaos. That's what they're trying to establish, man. So this is why you see a lot of these things happening, and you best believe, hey, we got one more video, but hey, you best believe these things are coming to America, man. You best believe these things will come. Because the elder apostle Remlov went into earlier today, he said, what, man, that a lot of these things happen overseas. The elites have these things happen overseas so that way they can sit there and get a feel for what's going on and how the people are reacting. It's like that way they can bring these things to America, man, and say, oh, you know what? Okay, so we expect this to happen, this to happen, this to happen. So we're going to ultimately, get ahead of the curve, man. This is why they do these things, man. So that way they can get that, that experience, so to speak. So when it hits America, where people are more one, the people love their freedom, the people have the guns, and so on and so forth. These people don't have no fucking guns, man. These people were already, naturally, they didn't really have too much freedom, man. So they're trying it out. Hey, but soon you best believe these things are coming to America, man. Keep going.
While food prices soar, according to the UN,
it said while food prices soar, which means what? Inflation, man. Inflation is happening. Why? Because places are not getting the product that they need to be able to continue that supply. So what's happening, man? Demand is going higher than your supply, meaning what? The prices of whatever product you do have is going to go up because demand is so high. Instead of supply being higher than your demand, which keeps prices low, your demand is way higher and getting higher than your supply, which causes the prices of everything to ultimately skyrocket, man. And we're seeing that happen here in America, but it's not as bad as other countries, man. Hey, so it's going to come to a time in America where you're going to see this, man. People selling their children to make ends meet, man, to be able to provide, to eat, so on and so forth, man. This is what we're going to see, man.
More than half the population doesn't know where their next meal is coming from.
Right.
And more than 3 million children under the age of 5 face acute malnutrition in the coming months.
People of Afghanistan need a lifeline.
And while $1 billion has been pledged by UN donors to help the Afghan people, less than half those funds have been received as the international community holds off recognizing the Taliban government.
People of Afghanistan will be dying of hunger in the next couple of months, and not just a few. This is just making people more and more vulnerable, and we cannot accept that.
Sentiments shared by the Taliban.
We are asking aid agencies to come back to Afghanistan and help these poor people. Otherwise, the crisis will worsen.
For this family in neighboring Gore province, they are trying to sell 2 daughters, 9-year-old Litan and 4-year-old Zeton, for $1,000 each. Do you know why they're selling you? The journalist asked Zeton. Because we are a poor family and don't have any food to eat.
Hey, so now think about that, man. When you sit there and you sell your daughter to a person who actually has a little bit of money, so you can buy money, hey, what's going to happen, man? You got prices going up. So eventually that person that has money is eventually not going to be able to afford the food and luxuries that they got. They might have to sell some of those things. So that same person eventually is going to end up in the same position you are, and your child's still not going to be able to eat, man. Whether it's with you or whether it's a whole stranger you sold them to, man. And hey, your child is going to know that, man. She clearly acknowledges the fact that she's being sold so that her family can eat, man. And they're probably talking her up, saying, you gotta do this for your family, so on and so forth. Hey, but the crisis is still there, and it's getting worse. You know, so no matter what they do to get themselves out of the position that they're at, or sell their daughter to a person who actually has money, you know, so that we should be better off. Eventually, it's gonna hit them, man. You know, so no matter what, it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit your family, man. You know.
She says.
Eso,
Are you scared? He
eso
asks.
es técnicamente.
Yes, I am. Another family in Gore province borrowed money from their 70-year-old neighbor. Now he's demanding it back, but they have nothing to give except their 10-year-old daughter, Maggle. My daughter doesn't want to go and is crying all the time. I am so ashamed, he says. Terrified, she threatens to take her life. If they push me to marry the old man, I will kill myself. I don't want to leave my parents. Days later, she discovers the sale has been finalized. Another Afghan child sold into a life of misery.
You know, and you go back in the ancient times, man, like, you know, when a woman gets her flower, it's usually between the ages of, 10 and 12, you know. So it's not, you know, according to the scriptures, you know, it's not unrighteous, you know, for a woman to be with an older man, you know, or a young woman can, you know, if she have, you know, gotten her, you know, what they call period, or, you know, her flower, her age of, you know, her age, flower of her age, then yeah, you know, it would be, you know, completely righteous, man, you know. But these people are, you know, in America and within the, you know, the image of the beast, it's been basically shown that it's wrong, man. You know, so yes, these people see this as wrong, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, that's you know, I just wanted to get that 2 cents out there. But yeah, you know, this is what's happening, man. You know, because of this inflation. And I want to grab an article real quick because it's also happening, you know, not only in these countries, but you know, in other countries as well, man. You know, which is leading to protests. You know, it says protesters have taken to the streets of Turkey's capital, Ankara, as well as country's largest city, Istanbul, demanding the resignation of the president Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his government over skyrocketing inflation. This is on Tuesday evening. Protesters marched down the streets of Ankara's Kankaya neighborhood, where most Turkish government buildings and government institutions are located. Now, I'm not going to play any of these videos, but again, all these things that are happening, people being impoverished, having to sell, you know, their children, and, you know, people rioting and so on and so forth, is because inflation is happening. Why? Because the supply market, the supply chain is damaged. It's at a halt right now, you know. And really, we know, you know, like it says, 2 Corinthians 2:11, you know, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. So we understand why the supply chain is halted, man. It's because Esau Edom has an agenda, you know, and for him to ultimately establish that agenda, or to work towards establishing that agenda, you know, certain things have to take place, man, you know, which, you know, part of it is what, man, the supply chain being halted, inflation happening across the world, people rioting, things getting worse. You got over in California, you got people, you know, breaking in, you know, to damn near everything and stealing everything, man, you know, and they're not being stopped. We're talking about 70, 80 people at a time, you know, going into a convenience store and robbing the shit out of it, man, you know, robbing it dry, man. You know, these things are, again, they're not just happening over in these other countries. They're happening here in America. And soon they're going to get worse, man. You know, we see these things happening, man. You know, and this is why the prophets are out here showing you these things, you know, letting you know of what is happening and what is to come, you know, because, you know, for you to be able to get out of these things, you know, you have to prepare, you know. A lot of people are not prepared for what is to come. You know, a lot of people are just going about their daily lives thinking that everything's all good and dandy. And when something like this springs upon them, hey, they're asked out, man. You know, I want to grab this. 2 Esdras 9 and verse 1, it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. You know, and how do we do that, man? You know, it's like we compare these events that happen in real life. And I mean, we're the events that happen, you know, within the world, and we filter them through the scriptures, man. And we say, okay, yes, You know, we see this sign, we see this sign, we see this sign. We just read in Matthew's 24th chapter some of the signs, you know, that were basically told to us that will come to pass in the last days. And we just watched a video and read 2 articles about those signs coming to pass, man. Right? It says, and when thou seest the part of the signs past, then which I have told thee, then shalt thou understand that it's the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he had made. And again, all these things are judgment. You know, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is bringing forth that judgment, right? Verse 3 says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people, right? Let's go uproars of the people. Now we're going to watch another video about uproars of the people that's happening all across all across Europe, man. You know, this is another one of those signs that have come to pass. And really, you know, I'm just going into these signs and going into prophecy. You know, this is a 4.5 minute video. So let's watch this video real quick, you know, just going into uproars of the people. And then, you know, we'll continue on and, you know, wrap it up, right?
Europe is in the grip of another wave of COVID, with cases rising in Germany and in the Netherlands.
It's like, and this is on RT. Y'all can go and watch this. RT, you know, brings up a lot of good videos. You go on their website, you know, got a lot of good articles and stuff like that, man. So
in the tens of thousands. As a response, tough restrictions are being reimposed across the continent, sparking, though, a public outcry. Authorities in the Netherlands detained at least 130 people.
And again, you know, 2 Corinthians 2:11, we're not adhering to Satan's devices, man. You know, you even got Esau against Esau. You know, like it says in Matthew's 12th chapter, the 25th verse, that say if Satan be divided against Satan, you know, or if kingdom be divided against kingdom, you know, how it shall come to desolation, right? And well, you got what, man? You got, you know, you got the leader of the NIA and CDC, which is, you know, Dr. Fake Fauci, and you got Rand Paul and other different, you know, government officials, you know, headbutting and basically coming out with information how Esau has created this Crown Vic Royale, man, you know, so they can do what? Create a jab, you know, create an alternative or make themselves seem like they have a solution, you know. But in reality, it's a whole different, again, it's an alternative solution or alternative motive, you know, for why they're bringing forth this jab. They created this, you know, Crown Vic Royale to bring forth the jab, which eventually is going to lead into the, you know, the Charagma, you know, the Revelations 13 and 16. It's like here. But yeah, that's ultimately what this Crown Vic Royale is leading to, right? But again, because of the lockdowns, which is again because of the Crown Vic Royales, you know, and these people are rioting, man.
People as anti-lockdown protests turned violent, and after several nights of rioting, the Dutch Prime Minister called those responsible idiots.
En ik zal als premier.
As a Prime Minister, as a Liberal, I will always defend demonstrations in this country as part of our democracy, of our rule of law. What I will never accept is idiots who, under the guise of we are dissatisfied, use pure violence against people who are working every day to keep this country safe.
Meanwhile, in Germany, the number of active cases there has more than doubled over the last 2 weeks, pushing healthcare services to their limit.
I have been working here for 5 years, and the situation has never been as bad as it is now. We are completely overwhelmed with an incredible number of patients. We no longer have an intensive care unit. All these patients are waiting until beds become available. Eventually, patients that need to go on ventilators will be in the emergency department, rather than in the intensive care unit. There should actually be 7 nurses on duty, but we only have 4, and sometimes 3. It is not clear how we can take care of patients adequately.
So as you heard there then, with intensive care units filling up, German authorities are issuing grim warnings about the virus's impact on the country. Our correspondent Peter Oliver looks at how Berlin is battling the new wave of COVID.
Well, there's a serious debate underway in Germany right now over whether the country should follow Austria's lead in making vaccines mandatory. Austria will make that move from the 1st of February of next year. The debate in Germany is really over whether it would be legal or not under the current constitution. There are other measures being taken, though, and some regions in Germany are imposing nighttime curfews, saying you can't go out of your home after 10 p.m., while the city of Stuttgart becomes the latest region, the latest area to cancel Christmas markets for this festive period.
Hey, you hear that? They're canceling y'all's fucking wicked ass, you know, high holy or your wicked ass holiday, man. You know? Hey, the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai is stopping all that shit, man. Stopping the idol worship and stopping all these, you know, these pagan ass holidays and so on and so forth, man. You know, he's getting rid of all that shit, man. You know, the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai is coming back, man. And you really think that he's gonna allow, you know, these false gods to be worshipped with him, or for these holidays, you know, to be you know, basically celebrated right along with his high holy days? No, man. You know, in Exodus, the 20th chapter, it says, "Thou shalt have no other God besides me," man. You know, roughly paraphrasing that verse, man. Meaning what, man? You're to worship Yahweh Shemel Shai and to celebrate his high holy days, man. You know, in his name. You know, hey, so it's, you know, it's perfect that all these things are happening, man. You know, getting rid of this fucking, you know, Christmas bullshit, man. You know, which all these high holy days, it's like all these holidays are built around lies, man, and deceit, you know?
Following on from the state of Bavaria, the state of Saxony, and a number of other cities across the country, Angela Merkel has described this fourth wave of COVID-19 as the worst thing the country has faced, while Health Minister Jens Spahn has painted a bleak picture of the way he sees the current state of affairs.
Wahrscheinlich wird am Ende dieses Winters,
probably by the end of this winter, as is sometimes cynically said, pretty much everyone in Germany will be vaccinated, recovered, or dead. But it's true. With the highly contagious Delta variant, this is very, very likely.
All right, man. You hear that? You know, that ultimately opens the door for them to sit here and, you know, start forcing everything, man. You know, because they don't want their population, it's like they don't want their population to die off or anything like that, man. You know, they want their agenda to be pushed. Meaning what? They want everybody to be jabbed up, right? So what's going to happen is they're going to push that, man. You know, they're going to push it. They're going to push it, which is, again, you know, just like Austria ultimately requiring everyone, you know, from 5 years and up to get the jab, you know. And this is what's going to start. It's ultimately going to spiral. You know, you got Italy looking at it, Germany looking at it. You know, it's going to spiral. It's going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually it's going to come across the whole world. It's going to come to America. You know, it's like, I got something in my eye where they're going to, you know, then we're going to require everyone to take the jab. Now, yes, you know, it hit the fifth, you know, here in America, it hit the Fifth Circuit Court and it got stayed, you know, by an appeal. Fuck you. But ultimately, what is the Biden administration doing, man? They're going and asking the appeal court, you know, to reinstate their requirements, man. You know, and who knows, man? They could be more harsher, or they could be harsher than, you know, what was first brought to their attention, man. You know, or they can sit there and say, oh yeah, well, you know, we'll ease up on it, you know, but then turn around and you know, be more draconian, be more severe, be more harsh with it. You know, we don't know what's gonna happen, man. You know, but we see these things coming, man. We understand what's happening. You know, we understand that these things have to be done. You know, as it says in Matthew's 24th chapter, man. You know that all these things must come to pass, right?
Well, in Austria, they are into the second day of their latest national COVID lockdown. It will last for at least 10 days, could go on until the 13th of December. People there, though, and people here in Germany as well, have been expressing their concerns that the actions taken by the government haven't been the right one.
I don't believe at all that the lockdown will be over after 3 weeks. Not even for us with vaccinations. But it is what it is.
Zu spät. Too late. Too late. Especially the mandatory vaccination, which should have been implemented earlier, not in February.
What did the last few months bring? Vaccinations were done, tests were done, distance was kept, masks worn, yet still the numbers rise.
I think it's not nice, because at first they said that it would open. Then they built everything, and then we are told that it must be closed and cannot open.
In Slovakia.
And so ultimately, everybody's understanding that, you know, what's going on is not right, you know. And this reason right here is why these damn devils are going to come down even harsher and force everybody to get it, you know, because right now we know that the jab is basically a catalyst that leads into what, man, you know, the charagma, you know, and a lot of people are going against what's going on. You know, they might have been jabbed up, but they're not, you know, they're against what's going on, man. You know, they're like, you know what, I ain't gonna take no more. I ain't gonna take no more booster. I ain't gonna take no more this, that, and the third. You know, and then you got a lot of people that are just not gonna take the jab, period, man. You know, those people are the reason why they're gonna have to come down having great wrath and have to force, you know, what's going on, man. You know, because everybody, the elites want everybody on their page, man, on their page, man, so that way they can sit there and be like, okay, we can get rid of these people, we can get rid of these people, we can get rid of these people, because they want the population down to 500 million worldwide, man. You know, they want to be able to attract people and say, okay, this kind of person, this person who does this type of thing, we don't want them here, so they get rid of this kind of people. You know, they can go ahead and weed out who they want here, who they don't want here, man. You know, this is the society. It's like a society that the elites want. You know, everybody to be linked into their IoT, which is the Internet of Things. You know, and to have this, convenient type, advanced lifestyle, man. You know, but that's not gonna happen, man. You know. According to the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shah, like it says in Job, the 20th chapter, the 23rd verse, it says, when he's about to fill his belly, what? Then the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shah shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, right? So they're never, ever going to be able to get to that point. But Esau Edom, he truly believes he's going to be able to do that, man. Like it says, his pride hath deceived him, man. You know, so this is what we're seeing, man.
And the Czech Republic COVID cases are also soaring. In fact, in those two countries from Monday, extra restrictions have come into place, barring the unvaccinated from hotels, bars, hairdressers, and almost all public events, as the fear is that intensive care beds will be, well, they'll run out of intensive care beds due to the sheer number of people that contracted COVID-19.
Connor, that's really it. That's all I have for videos or anything like that. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shem El Shah, man. Barakatah, you know. Yeah, man, they've been taking a lot of videos down, man. They've been taking a lot of videos down, man. You know. But yeah, man. Yeah, that's true, man. You know. That's true, man. The complete lockdown, man. They completely, you know, they at first it was a lockdown of, you know, just those that are those that haven't took the jab, but then they turn around and say, you know what, we're gonna lock up everybody and shut down the whole country for everybody, man. So everybody's in a lockdown. The whole country is in a lockdown, man. You know, and again, that kind of lockdown is coming to America here soon, man. You know, we're already starting to see everything start to lead in that direction, man. You know, but what happened was they got rid of that. They got rid of that. The requirement. You know, which we had a requirement by December 5th. You know, for all federal, employees. You know, and then what was it? January 4th for basically everybody, man. You know, but that has been stayed. You know. So what does it say in 2nd Thessalonians, or what is it? 1 Thessalonians 5:3 says, when they shall say peace and safety, what then? What? Matter of fact, let me grab that scripture, man. You know, because again, people think they're all good because that requirement was ultimately, basically stayed. No, man, it's about to get way worse, man. You know, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 3, it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, meaning, hey, you're all good, man. You know. Then sudden destruction come upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right, man? You're not going to be able to escape what is coming to pass, man. You know, there's no freaking way you're going to be able to escape what is to come to pass. You know, like it says, going back in Matthew's the 8th chapter, or it's like in Matthew's the 24th chapter, And verse 8 says, all these things, mean all the prophecies that we just watched and read about, all these are the beginning of sorrow, meaning what times are coming that are worse than what we see right here, man. You're not going to be able to escape them. If anything, they're going to get worse, and they're going to come upon you heavier, man. You can't escape them, man. Let's go back to 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter. We'll read the 3rd verse again. It says, therefore, when thou shalt see earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Right, man? It says what? The beginning or the end is manifest from the beginning, man. So all these things were predestinated to come to pass. And guess what we're seeing that come to pass, man? It says, for like as all that is in made in the world had the beginning and the end is manifest. Even so, the times of also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And we see those signs, man. This is why we're constantly, telling you, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, really the speaking to the elect of the nation Israel, and you people got to prepare, man. You got to prepare for what is to come to pass, or for what is to come, because you got Jacob's trouble right around the corner, man. These things that we're seeing overseas, and they're just a snippet of what is to come to America, man. You people think you're all good, like it says, victuals shall be so good, so cheap upon the earth, they shall think themselves to be in good case. And yes, prices have not skyrocketed out the roof, man. Prices just gone up a little bit. The average price in America has gone up, 6.2%, which is a good chunk. But wait till it goes up 25, 30%, 50%. You got a piece of steak that usually is about 12 to $14. It goes up and it's at 21 to $30 now, man. People are going to be looking at it like, hey, whoa. This is just one piece of steak. Now I'm spending almost $300, just on food, and for a family of fucking 3, a mom and dad and a fucking, single child, man. They're spending like, almost $200, $300 a week on food, whereas, or every 2 weeks on food. Whereas you got families that are larger, from 4 to 6 people in a group, if not larger, they're spending almost $1,000, man, every other week or a week, for food, man. This is what's going to happen. People are going to riot. People are going to say, you know what? Shit is getting bad, man. And I'm talking about just here in America. We're seeing these things happen overseas. People selling their own kids, just to get food, just to eat, How much more or how much crazier is it going to get when there's absolutely no food? There's no money. They've done away with the dollar. They've done away with all these currencies, because you got a lot of CBDCs, man, central bank digital currencies coming out, man. A lot of these things are coming out. The physical currency is ultimately being done away with, man. What are you going to do in those days, man? I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to do according to the scriptures, man. You're going to be selling your children. You're going to be eating your own food. Matter of fact, let's grab that, man. Because again, when famine starts to hit real hard because of the lack of, food, lack of water, people are going to go crazy, man. People are going to be eating themselves. People are going to be doing, all types of shit, man. Let's go to Isaiah. I think it's the 9th chapter. I think it's 9 and 19. This is Isaiah 9 and 19. It says, through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother, man. Meaning what? You're not going to have no mercy, no pity upon your neighbor, man. It's just going to be, whatever you do with them, right? It says that he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm, right, man? And you best believe this is going to be in the time of trouble, man. Matter of fact, let's grab that too. Proving again that these things are going to be here soon, because 2nd Esdras 15 and 16 are playing out right before our eyes, man. And that's what we're going to, man. 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter, man. Proof that this is going to happen in the time of Jacob's trouble, man. I'll just get to the point. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15 and verse verse 16, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Right. So because of, the lack of food, the lack of water, the lack of hygiene products, and so on and so forth, ultimately that supply chain, and inflation, people are going to riot, man. People are just going to break into things, which we're seeing over in the Bay Area of California, San Francisco, and so on and so forth. In those areas, we're seeing a lot of rioting, man. We're seeing not a lot of rioting, but a lot of crime, which they're calling organized crime, shooting through the roof, man. People are snatching shit and they don't give a fuck, And eventually it's going to run so rampant. It's going to be, the crime is going to get so high, and they're going to have to send in the military because the local police ain't doing nothing. On top of that, you got all the way going back to the, this requirement of the jab, and you got a lot of local police, local firefighters, local EMS, and doctors and nurses and so on and so forth. They're quitting. They're leaving. They're saying, I'm not taking this jab, man. I'm not taking the venom, So they're not going to have a lot of those local police force to ultimately stop this shit, man, which, again, we're seeing over in California, So they're going to have to send in their military, which goes into verse 17. "And man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." Why? Because they're going to have blockades. They're going to have, just like we started to see even for a quick little moment over in Austria, man, where they had military and local police, going door to door and going to restaurant to restaurant to business to business, checking everybody's certification to see if they were venomed up or not, man. How much more, when it comes to, all crime just breaking loose, and now they really got to make sure everything's down pack and secure, man. Their businesses, the restaurants, and so on and so forth, man. They're gonna start, again, having blockades, in and out of certain neighborhoods and so on and so forth, man. This is what's gonna take place, man. This is to come to pass. This is prophecy. Just as we're seeing these prophecies come to pass, we're seeing more prophecy to come, right? What is it? 2 Peter 1:19. It says we have a more sure word of prophecy. Sure meaning what, man? Inevitable, destined. These things are destined to come to pass. Everything that we're reading is destined to come to pass, and we're seeing those things that are to come to pass in the workings right now, man. Verse 18 says, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." Because again, it's going to be a time of Jacob's trouble. That's why it says cities shall be troubled, man. This is the time that we're coming into, man. There's going to be mass death. There's going to be mass rioting. It's literally going to be like when you see apocalypse in a movie, all hell fucking breaks loose. This is what's going to be like, except it's going to be worse than what we see in the movies, man. And it's going to have more effect on you. Why? Because it's happening in real life. Verse 19, it says that man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. We're talking about no pity, no mercy upon his neighbor, man. We read that in Isaiah, the 9th chapter, the 19th verse, man. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, man. Not having no mercy, man. It doesn't matter, from your best friend that you grew up with. It doesn't matter from your brother. It doesn't matter from your father. It don't matter. None of that, man. All those things, all those titles are going to go out the fucking window, man. It says, "But shall destroy their houses with the sword." Amen. Meaning what? And you got a lot of Americans here that got guns, man, which is the modern day sword. So they're going to break into people's houses and shoot them up and steal all their goods, like I said, and spoil their goods, man. They're going to take all their goods to spoil, man, so they can eat, so they can drink. They're not going to care about you and your life. They're not going to care about you and your family, man. And again, all these things are building up. You're seeing a lot of these things start to happen in other countries where these people are not even caring about their own children, but they care about their own bellies rather than their own children, So how much more when there's absolutely no food that they can buy, there's absolutely no money. The dollar is or whatever currency, the physical currency is done away with. There's no value to it, man. How much more is these things gonna, take place when all that stuff, starts to happen, man? And it's, again, we know that these things are happening. We know that these things are going to happen, This is why we're telling you people, you need to pay attention. You need to watch, man. You need to prepare, This is verse 19. It said, "Man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because the lack of bread and for great tribulation, man. You know, lack of bread, meaning what, huh? You know, there being a famine of bread, a famine of food and water. And a famine goes into a shortage of. Now, is there going to be absolutely no food and water? No. There's going to be food and water, but it's going to be for those that can pay for it, those that can actually, or those that are rich, or the elites, or so on and so forth. You know, this is where the food is going to go. It's not going to be for, you know, the average person out here, man. The average person out here is not going to be able to afford it, you know, because again, inflation, the supply chain is, you know, ultimately the supply is going down, demand is going up, you know. So therefore, it's going to bring forth rioting, you know. And eventually, because the elites don't give a fuck, riot or not, what is rioting going to do? You know, on top of really rioting is going to make it worse, you know, because you're going to go in there, you're going to riot, and eventually you're going to get tired of, you know, rioting, and you're going to fucking take actions in your own hands, you know, which is verse 16, you know. It says, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power, right? So you're going to take things into your own hands, and you're going to go jack shit, man. You're going to go take it. Okay, well, what happens when you jack everything? When you take everything? There's not going to be no food, no water. Why? Because not only was the supply chain damaged and halted, at a halt right now, hey, but people are rioting. People are taking things and snatching them, not paying for them, you know, not doing this, not doing that, which means what? For those, the food and water that is left, hey, the price is going to fucking shoot at the freaking roof, man. You know? So then people are not going to be able to get it, man. People are not going to be, because you best believe they're going to have military and so on and so forth protecting that food, protecting that water, man. You know? So you're going to be left with nothing. You know, and we all know that there's doomsday preppers. We all know that there's people that keep a pantry, you know, with a little bit of food in it, so on and so forth. And you're going to turn from robbing those stores, robbing these mom and pops and so on and so forth, to turn into robbing your neighbor. Hey, everything is going to spiral, man. Jacob's trouble is on its way. You people need to prepare. And again, I'm only speaking to the elect of the nation of Israel. Really, this is the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai speaking through me to the elect of the nation of Israel, man. You know? The Lord Yahweh Shema Shai don't care about no other nation, man. He told them in Isaiah the 45th chapter, you know, they're likened unto nothing, man. You know? He also said they're likened to spittle in a bucket, man. You know? So he don't care about the other nations, man. You know? And he cares about the 2/3 of the nation Israel. But in this time, you acting like heathens, man. Y'all don't want to turn away from, you know, scriptures tell you to learn not the way of the heathens, but y'all motherfuckers want to be heathens. Y'all want to be just like them. Even though the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai made y'all to be the special people among all the nations of the earth, y'all want to be like the heathens. Y'all want to be like the base men, you know? Therefore, the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has to destroy your ass, man. Right along with them. You know, you want to be like them, then there you best believe you're going to receive the same recompense as them, you know? Hey, for those that are in the sheepfold, those that have the understanding, we don't want to be like them, man. We don't want to receive that recompense, man. We want to receive a reward, you know? That's why we're paying attention, man. You know, measuring down the time diligently in itself. We're understanding, hey, we're in the last days, man. We need to get right or get left. And I'm not trying to get left, you know? You know, we need to, you know, tighten up, man. You know? Because whether we like it or not, a prophecy is hitting harder and harder and harder by the day, man. You know? Hey, so we need to be watching, man. We need to be watching, you know, and I need, you know, I haven't really been doing too many news updates, you know, or just dropping too much news out and updating the people, but I'm going to try and do it a little bit more, man. You know, Lord will, Yahweh Shema Shai, you know, can allow me to do that through the Spirit, man. But hey, you know, y'all need to pay attention, man. You know, y'all need to watch. Y'all need to understand the times that we're in and prepare, man. The scriptures tell you, it says, he that feareth the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai will prepare his heart, man. Meaning what? Your mind. You're gonna prepare your mind for what is to go on, man. And really, that's dealing with the spiritual, man. You know, and you gathering up that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding will ultimately have you prepare a little bit, you know, physically, man. You know, as long as you're not relying on that, you know, and not relying on, you know, that ghetto, what is that bug out bag to, you know, to save your life, but trusting in the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, relying on the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai. Who knows? The Most High can have you, get that little bug out bag, man, that, and that'll sustain you for a little bit, man. For those that have a little bit of wisdom, it behooves you to, to gather up a little bit of extra food, man. Gather up a little bit of extra hygiene, man. For when shit starts to really hit the inflation starts to, take hold, you have a little bit extra, so that way you can save a little bit of money on the side, for when you really need to buy some extra food or whatever, you can put that money into buying, whatever you need, man, for the time, But again, we're not relying on, a bug out bag or, our jobs to, help us get through or stuff like that. Hey, we're relying on Yahweh Shai, man. He's the only way that we're going to get out of these times, man, Because again, the times that we're into, the times are evil, man. Like it says in Ephesians 5 and starting at verse 15, it says, "Walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, man, redeeming the time, for the times are evil." Times are evil, times are hard, man, and they're getting harder. All these are beginning of sorrows, man. All these things are going to get harder, man. They're going to get worse, So again, you need to prepare yourself for what is to come, man. Scriptures tell you in Isaiah 55 and verse 6, it says, "Seek ye the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai while he may be found," man. Because you seeking the Lord, you gathering up that oil in this time is you preparing, man, gathering up this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Because it tells you in Isaiah 33 and 6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the strength of thy times, and the stability, Slakia. Matter of fact, let me grab it. I know I kind of butchered it a little bit, but let me go grab it real quick. It's Isaiah the 33rd chapter and verse 6. So I got something more. It's Isaiah 33 and 6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge," which is this word, man. Wisdom and knowledge, this word, man, "shall be the stability of thy times and the strength of salvation," man. Hey, so by this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that we get, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, because again, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai has to be dealing with you and has to reveal these things unto you, right? So by him revealing, him supping with us and revealing this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding unto us, and this wisdom and knowledge is going to ultimately be the way the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai guides us, man. When you guide somebody, what do? You speak to them and tell them, hey, you got to go left, you got to go right, you got to jump, you got to crawl, you got to do this, right? So you give them your word, you're talking to them, guiding them. Well, okay, guess what? Through the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai's word, he's guiding us, man. That's why he says in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, starting at the 73rd verse, it says he is a guide unto them that keep his commandments, man. Because again, through his word, through his commandments, he tells us how to act and tells us how to be and how we need to walk in, the times of trouble, man, especially the times that we're coming to, man. So again, the wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability at times and the strength of salvation, man. The fear of the Lord is his treasure, man. Hey, so guess what, man? And it tells you right, and it tells you Proverbs, I think it was in Proverbs 8 and 13, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, Matter of fact, let me grab it so that way I can make sure I'm on the right track. I think it's Proverbs 8 and 13. No, that's not it. Scriptures tell you fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, right? So let me grab that. So just bear with me, Baba Kashar. Fear of the Lord. There's a lot. You type in fear of the Lord. It gives you 6,003 instances, but it doesn't narrow it down. Matter of fact, let me grab it on my phone. It kind of gives me a little quick, I think it was like maybe 30 or 40. So let me get it. It's in Proverbs. I know that. Actually, there's really many. You know, we can go with that's Proverbs 9 and 10. Yeah, so let's grab that. Right, so it says right here, Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10, it says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Right, man? So it all stems back to fear, man. You know, the fear of the Lord, right? Like it says, you know, really, you know, by doing video epistles and so on and so forth, shows that we fear the Lord, man. Like it says, knowing the terror of the Lord, 2 Corinthians 5 and 11, knowing the terror of the Lord, we persuade men, right, man? We know what the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai can do, man. We know that, you know, what we just saw was a whole bunch of judgment that's coming, man. You know, all these things stem, you know, are happening because of the judgment that's come upon the Lord, or coming upon the earth, man, from the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, man. People are having to sell their daughters, you know. People are becoming poorer, you know. Prices are skyrocketing. People are eating less. You know, people are having to decide between, you know, gas and or gas and getting to work, and food, you know, and rent and so on and so forth. And these are the things that, you know, starting with the elder apostles, were told that were coming, man, but people didn't want to take heed, man, you know. So now it would behoove you to take heed, man, you know, and get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, so that way you can be good in those times, man. You know, the only ones that are going to be good in these times is those that take heed to his word, those that gather up that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. You know why? Because they're going to be able to trim their lamps, man, you know, and to be able to walk in darkness, you know. While everything is just chaotic, they're going to be able to walk, you know, calmly, cool, calm, and collected, man, and being smooth criminal, you know, being smooth criminal through the times, man, you know, moonwalking through the times that we're getting, you know, that we're coming to, man, you know. So again, it behooves you, y'all, to, you know, ultimately take heed, you know, get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, seek ye the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai while he may be found. Times are getting worse, man. You know, what are you gonna do, you know, when shit hits here in America, man? When all these things that we saw, they hit America, you know, the inflation turns into hyperinflation, you know. And the food supply. Hey, right now I can go to the Walmart, man, and there's food, man, you know. So people are good, man. People are real good. So what are you all gonna do when there's no food? You know, they take food out of this Walmart and they put it in a whole different, you know, because I got Costco, Winco, and Walmart down the fucking street from me, man. You know, oh, and then a fucking Safeway down the street. They all got fucking food, man. You know, here in America there's not. I mean, and there's some places they ain't got too much food, you know. Here in America, but still, what are you gonna do when it gets worse, man? You people are gonna be, you know, screaming and crying and bitching and moaning, man. You know, because again, everybody here in America, y'all love y'all luxuries, man. You know, and y'all treat, you know, basically being able to eat and drink for granted, man. Y'all take it for granted, man. You know. So how much more when all that shit is, you know, starts to get snatched away from y'all, man? Y'all are, you know, SOL, man, shit out of luck, man. You know, and you people better prepare, man. You know, prepare for what's gonna happen, man. You know, that's all I really got through the spirit, man. I don't want to talk on it, you know, too much, and I've already gone over an hour, man. But hey, Lord will is edifying, Lord will straight to the point. Give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahshua, Ba'ashim, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the bishops of Great Millstone, rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing this gospel and truth and sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh Shem Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect scattered abroad. May the election Yahweh Shem Shai, Lord willing, for upon a house. I want to say, Kwame Ashwell and Abba Shalom.